who came all the way from Helsinki, Finland, to be here with us. Riku Osterlund is working with Fujitsu, and we're quite looking forward to what he will tell us and how they are using Liferay. So please welcome with me to the stage, Riku Osterlund.
My name is Riku Osterlund from Helsinki, from Fujitsu, Finland, and from Helsinki, as was mentioned. And yeah, by the way, it's snowing there as we speak, so it might be so that I will stay a few months longer there, here than I was expecting. But well, Brian was mentioning something about political refugees. Might be so that you will see meteorological refugees soon wandering around the streets of London. But yeah, well, that happens once in a while. That winter surprises us. I joined Fujitsu about 2.5 years ago. I used to work as a development manager in our strategic development team. I was responsible for our online services. And since last April, I have been part of our EMEA-wide offering management team, and we are responsible of representing our service desk offering. And I'm going today to present about the solution what we have building on top of Liferay in Nordics, and how it came as a part of our EMEA-wide concept. And then I'm talking about digital transformation, and as it was mentioned already this morning, that is kind of buzzword already, but I might have a little bit different approach for it. Like I'm mostly talking about how we have been developing our services together with our end users, and how we are working very closely with our customers. But before we go to the story, I have those two mandatory Fujitsu slides first. So, as you might know, Fujitsu is a global Japanese ICT company, headquartered in Tokyo. We have about 156,000 employees all over the world, supporting and servicing our customers in over 100 countries. And last fiscal, we consolidated. We reported some 41 billion US dollars consolidated revenue, and very shortly about also our service desk business. As I mentioned, I'm representing our service desk offering here. So we have service desks all over the world, and we have 5 main delivery centers in Costa Rica, Portugal, Poland, Malaysia, and Philippines. And at the moment, we are able to speak actually 39 languages. But then, to the solution. We chose Liferay years before I joined the company, so it's not my fault that we are using Liferay. But it was around 2008 or 9 or so, and been asking that how we ended up with that decision. And well, at those days, Liferay was supporting quite nicely our strategy, like a modern open source platform. And well, ready-made plugins and modules already existing in Liferay market, etc. And I think that the pricing was also reasonable. So my former colleagues choose Liferay, and I have to say that I've been happy with that decision since, like, well, in my previous life, I have used to work with different CMSs, with different platforms, and quite often I ended up in a kind of discussion with developers that they can do something because of the platform. There's something wrong with the platform, and it's preventing us to doing things. And during the last 2.5 years, I haven't really been facing that kind of discussions. So either we have now better developers or better platform in place. And well, I think that in this case it's both. But yeah, what we have been building on top of Liferay, it's like centralized end user portal or platform. As we call it, kind of touch point between us and our customers. It used to be years ago that in different companies, when there was a need for some new feature or function, companies were building new portals for it. And well, you all know that even in your daily life, when you are doing things on your companies, you have different user interfaces for different purposes. And yeah, we do that also in Fujitsu. We still have many different portals for different purposes, but step by step, we are centralizing things in one view, in one place, so that our customers can also get all the services via one window, via one portal. And Oh yeah, that's what I should use. Currently, yeah, it's called Fujitsu Fast in Nordics. So that's the name for the portal, how it has been called since 2012, I think. We have a bunch of beautiful features in there already, and many of them are related to somehow related to support or ordering some stuff. But then we have also some new sectors and areas where we are focusing a lot, like, for example, reporting. We are aiming to centralize more or less all our reporting in one view, or in one place, so our customers can get all the reports at one glance, and we can get rid of those old half manual monthly reports, which are sent by emails and lost by emails. So we try to get all the things in one portal. And as you can see from the screen captures, the portal is accessible with any device, anytime, anywhere. So it's based on HTML5 and responsive design. And this is other kind of view for the portal. And don't go into the details what is in those boxes. It's not the thing in here, but how we have built the solution is that it's kind of modular and configurable set up in a way that our customers can choose which services they are using. And how we do that is basically and shortly that we use a Liferay authorization to define which services are visible for which customer. And we do that also on user level. So we play with Liferay roles, and with roles we define what services each and every user can have. And then with the Fast can be seen as an end user layer. And to get Fast, we have something what we call Fujitsu Flow. It's like our own integration and automation engine. And with Flow, we are able to tackle the complicated multi-vendor world in that sense that we can really centralize all our services in one channel and be the single point of contact for our customers. Oh well, this picture gives a feeling that everything goes through Flow. That's not the whole truth. We use our automation, our process engine, when we need to add some business logic for the integration. But there's a lot of point-to-point integrations also from Liferay to different backend systems. And then shortly about the solution, and then about digital transformation. And as I said, I'm focusing more like how we do things together with our customers. So basically, in this world where everything is changing, and we have heard these stories so many times, that digital transformation is changing everything. Yeah, that's true. But I think it's now even more important to keep our end users close to us, even though we are getting new fancy techies and devices almost on a weekly basis, and those will make our life step by step bit easier, but at the same time it might be really confusing for our customers and end users, like they are getting all the new things all the time and new messages from here and there. So it's even more important to be really close to your customer, and you have to be ready to listen them. And when I say listen, I mean really like listening. If you send some formalized service out once or twice a year, it's not listening. You really have to go in there and try to live their life in a way that what we did with my colleague Ville last winter, or this is just an example, but we visited 4 factories in Finland. Our customer is producing milk and cheese and stuff like that. And we visited those factories, and we met, I would say, 200 employees, and we tried to understand their daily life, what they are doing, what kind of things they might need from us, how we can help their daily life when they are doing their work. So that's totally like a different kind of level when talking about listening and understanding the customer. And how we do it then? It's nothing like science or it's not really complicated at all. What we try to do is that we try to combine all the feedback, insights, what we got, all the new technologies, opinions, etc., etc. And we are creating hypotheses. And what we do then is that we test our hypotheses by prototyping them. And what is prototyping then? Well, if you are building a car or a space rocket, it's a bit different. But for us, prototyping is basically visualizing our ideas, making those ideas real. And even though this is a kind of funny picture, I have been using this kind of material when I have been interviewing end users, and it's enough for certain states. Later on, quite often we have something like more clickable, partially working prototypes which might be built for tablets or so people can try and get some feeling about how the product might be working. But our aim is to test and prototype everything before we go to the implementation and development phase. So it's about verifying. I have my laptop here and I'm pushing that all the time. I should have this in my hand. It's all about verifying. It's verifying our ideas, it's verifying new things and requirements. And what you can see, what you see here is just like an example. This first pic in here is rather old portal version. I think that was released around 2012. And in the middle, there's just like examples about prototypes what we used before we launched previous version in February 2015. And even though we were quite happy with that one, we didn't stop. We have been keep on working, and we just released a totally new version of our end user portal by the end of September. And my bottom line message here is that pretty much everything what you can see here is somehow tested already in early phase with our customers. Before we start to develop any row of codes for this version, we did a lot of testing and in-depth interviews and workshops and etc. etc. And another important aspect when you are developing services in this digital world is that you have to have a holistic view for your services. Like this is really well-known example in our business that we have been measuring this guy, how quickly he or she will pick up the phone. And if he's quick enough, we are happy. We meet our service level agreements, woohoo. But is the user happy if the phone is still broken? No, he or she is not happy. So when you are building and planning new services, you have to understand the whole process and to do everything that you can make it as a one solid end user journey. And yeah, we also have to understand that this, we can call it co-design or service design, whatever, but this design thinking is an ongoing process. It never ends. And it's all about to verify our ideas and requirements so we can get verified things to our backlog or roadmap before we start the development. And as my former colleague said, you should open champagne every time when you are able to throw something in the trash can, because right in that moment you most likely saved a lot of money. So there's a lot of benefits in this model, and yeah, you really can save money by killing, well, let's call them non-relevant ideas in early phase. And you can also get fresh insights all the time when you are close to your customer, when you try to live them their life and really be with them. So then you will get all the time new fresh insights. And that's also the way how you can really understand the real needs behind the scenes. Like quite often when you meet your customer first time, they might be setting requirements like this, list in Excel. And what it's based for is most often that it's based for some history, because they have been doing things like this last 20 years. And you have to be able to go deeper to really understand what are the real needs on daily basis in your customer life, in your end user life. And this last bullet here is also, I think, a really important point in that sense that I think that most of you have faced kind of, quite often a kind of internal discussions where you have been nicely arguing with your colleagues how we should do certain things. Should it be in this way or that way? Should it be red or blue? And that's just waste of time, totally waste of time, because I don't know. We can't know. I don't know what is the truth, like how we should have things in our portal. Our designer won't know, but we have to go and meet our customers and find the truth from there. And to make that all happen, you have to be all the way agile. It's a good start to have some agile development process in place, but it's just a good start. It's not enough. And it's not enough if you have like one or two great designers, or it's not enough if you have one DevOps manager in your team. But when you can build that whole process as a one like solid journey, then you will be able to react rapidly for all those changes what this digital modern world is throwing for us. And then from platform point of view, how we manage this world then. We have several instances, one here in London, one in Nordics. We might have on-premise versions, on-premise instances for certain customers, etc. We might have more versions in future. And how we do it? Well, this is nothing new really. We do all the development in trunk, and then we have release windows. This is something what we agree with the team. Like, well, we had 4 releases per year when I joined the company. Nowadays we have releases pretty much every week. So what we do is that we just agree that, okay, let's work some 2 weeks to get certain things ready, and then we can release them. And we release all things and deploy all things to all the environments. And between the releases, we can have as many patches as we want to. At this morning, we have done, I think, 2 patches already, based on what I was just reading from my email. So even though this is not the most agile process yet, I have seen like beautiful stories about environments where they can have releases each and every minute almost. But we are getting there step by step, and we are already pretty agile what comes to build and release management. And then, what is needed to be a forerunner in this digital world? You might know all the latest technologies. You might even have all those latest devices and gadgets in your living room. But is that enough to be a forerunner? I don't think so. I don't believe so. I think the first and most important thing is that you need to be humble. You need to be responsive. And you have to understand that your own opinions are just opinions. Opinions can be used for creating those hypotheses I was mentioning earlier. But they are not the truth. So you have to be humble, and you have to be willing to test and verify in early phases. And as I was mentioning and giving this example about those factories, you have to be ready to listen your end users. In whatever business you are, you have to be ready to go there and be with them. And the last bullet, I think this sentence was originally said by Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn's founder. And yeah, it's so true. If you are not ashamed when you launch too late. Like, what does that mean? It's like if you keep tweaking details for months, you most likely will lose the window. And if you keep tweaking those details for multiple for months, you might never learn what is really important for your end user. So my message is that iterate fast and release often. So if you would like to share more thoughts with me or with my colleagues, or even join as an end user to our next co-design round, let's keep in touch.
Thank you, Riku.
Thank you.
For this insightful presentation. We do have time for questions, so I would like to ask you a question from the front, and then we'll open up to the audience. Maybe we can get the mics ready so everybody can hear it. Because so you asked, especially in the beginning, I saw that you integrated, it seems like you integrated a lot of systems and they go into one central place.
Yep.
One time I was talking to a Gartner analyst and he said you need to find a different word for integration, right? Because it's not, as we heard this morning,
it's a technical term, yeah.
It's a technological term, but it's also not very popular because people have been talking about this so often. It's a very laborious process. Yet you have done it. So I assume that out there in London, out there in the UK, out there in Europe, there's tons of people with old legacy systems that need to be integrated.
Yeah.
And also these people are probably also here sitting in this room, right? No show of hands, please, but right. So if for the next step, if you would say, if somebody asks you about integration, bringing things together, and you say, where do we start? Where would you say?
Oh, that was a simple one. Well, where should start? You should start by going close to your end user and listen what is important for them. Because quite often, even though there's huge legacy systems and everything and a lot of new technologies, and if you start to bring them together like, okay, I have to get this all done by end of next summer or so, won't happen. You have to find those like three most important things where you start. And then it's like, then you can proceed step by step. Okay. Step by step. That's the only way how I can see that things like that can be done, and without like getting like stuck with two big things.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Now I would like to open to the audience. Any questions for Riku Osterlund from Helsinki? Anybody? Over here? Could we have a mic? Mic is coming.
That's close. Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We were just wondering, what's the sort of sprint time or the average sprint duration for you for your development cycles there?
Well, we have heavily customized our agile methods, how we are working, and we are not doing Scrum, we are not doing Kanban, we are doing something. We have totally own customized process, but we still use like 3 weeks sprints in that sense that we have a meeting each and every 3 weeks to plan what is next and where we are going. So basically, and quite often we do releases also according to that 3 week cycle. But as said, we have been doing patches already by this morning, so on. But we still keep that 3 week. I think it's like a kind of, it's short enough. So we can get few things in there, but it's long enough that we can also get something ready like in a week. Quite often might be so that there's not much what we can do in 5 days, but already in 15 working days we can do a lot.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Another question? Right here.
Hi. I can't remember all of the numbers on your corporate slide, but I do have this vision of a workshop involving Fujitsu employees where there are people speaking 39 different languages. Have there been any challenges, and how have you overcome those challenges in getting such a big organization and an incumbent, if you like, to adopt such agile and fast-paced processes?
Yeah, of course there's like challenges. But in Nordics, we are, I was just clicking that. In Nordics, where we are kind of, we got like a good moment to build that team and things inside the company, like our own little startup. So we have been able to work pretty flexibly by that team. And of course, now we are doing things for EMEA, which is in Fujitsu world, it's 21 countries. Well, at least for EMEA, we have some nice discussions going on outside of EMEA too. But of course, it's like it's a complicated. But once again, I think that is my how I think about doing things in an agile way in big corporates is that once again you have to find those few things, most important things where you focus, and start from there. And even though you have to understand all the different aspects and legacy technologies, but still you shouldn't get stuck with them, and you have to just find those most important things and try to keep stones rolling on a daily basis. It's like, I think that is, yeah, if you try to build a kind of and get the agile process in place in a big company just like this, it won't happen. But it's more like a kind of mindset and philosophy, how you think about the future and next release and things. And when you have that, when you can get that mindset in right sense, then it's doable even in big corporates.
Okay. Time for one more question.
Okay.
All right.
What have you learned about internationalization?
What I have learned?
About internationalization in your processes.
But you mean like
You got 29 different languages. You got a whole bunch of different countries that you're trying to support.
And what I have learned? Was your question?
Okay. Open question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it goes a little bit back to the previous one, like what I have learned, that how we can do agile things in modern way, in big company, in international company. I think that's like the first learning, I would say, that how to make things happen there, even though like we might have some bureaucracy in place sometimes and so on, but it's like a best learning that how we still can keep working on as agile as possible.
Okay, so would the learning be, we try to implement agile processes even though we hit language issues or people don't come with the information at the right time? Would you say we just keep the ball rolling and that helps you to overcome whatever challenges in the way?
Yeah. Pretty much like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you, Riku,
Thank
for sharing your lessons learned. I think we can give it up one more time for Riku Osterlund. We do have some breakout sessions coming now.